Meanwhile, Liverpool are expected to have a very busy summer, aren't they, as they look to rebuild after what has been a disappointing season. But before they need to do that, they'll have to appoint a new sporting director. Julian Ward will leave that role in the summer. And today, Jurgen Klopp was asked what input he'll have in choosing Ward's successor.
And I am not involved in the talks, but maybe the talks around, yes. But I'm not the person in the club who can give real answer about where it stands. That's in the hands of other people. But what I heard is all going in the right direction.
Right. And obviously it's a structure you've been used to working with. Is it one you expect to keep working with going forward after Julian's left?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean? With the sporting director?
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody has a sporting director, and that's because it makes sense. It makes sense. It's not to do with the decisions, how a manager is involved in decision making. That's not a thing, but the process. If a manager has to do that, I don't know how the guys did that in the past. I have no clue around it, talking to all the agents and all these kind of things, and constantly talking about a pound here and a pound there. You need people for that. There's no chance, and that's why, yes, I'm happy with the structure, and the person will be, but the guy we get or the lady we get will be absolutely right, but nothing to say in the moment.
Let's get to matters on the pitch then. Liverpool still have an outside chance, of course, of securing a Champions League place, despite being 9 points behind fourth place Manchester United. They face West Ham tomorrow night, who have seen a recent upturn in form. And Klopp was glad to see West Ham stick by David Moyes for more reasons than one.
If West Ham would have sacked David Moyes, I would have been the oldest manager in the Premier League, and I wanted to avoid that. Really, somebody told me that before the season. I'm the second oldest. Who's the oldest? David Moyes. So since then, I fingers crossed for West Ham. Yes. David has to stay. But I'm really happy. David is a super good. I know him for 6.5, 7 years. He's a top colleague and he's doing an incredible job. And things like this can happen. But I think that they have a good team and they show now the quality again. And when you see the lineup from the last game, if they can go through games without big injuries, to a season without big injuries, then all of a sudden they are able to play really good stuff, like they did last season and the season before. So yeah, super dangerous and difficult game for us, definitely. So we have to be absolutely on top. We have to, what is said, then we have to make the next step, keeping at least the standards of the last two games defensively, and then going from there. Being uncomfortable to play against, that must be our target. It's an away game, but thank God we won at least one away game recently, which is good. Not bothered at all about the result, just that we won it, and that's what we have to try again.
Well, Klopp's comments about age came up in David Moyes' press conference this afternoon. I think they'd forgotten Roy Hodgson. Here's what he had to say about it all.
Jurgen Klopp cheekily mentioned in his press conference earlier that he was pleased that you were senior in age to him because it put him second oldest manager in the league.
Correct.
That was at the start of the season, of course. Do you feel the same way now about Roy Hodgson?
Oh, I'm thrilled that Roy's back for all those reasons. But yeah, I remember Jurgen mentioning it to me earlier in the season, and it didn't seem right being the oldest man in the Premier League, or the oldest manager in the Premier League, I should say. But you know, that's what longevity does to you, and sometimes, you know, if you can stay the course, then you do become the oldest one. So Roy's shown that hopefully there's plenty more years to come as well.